Hello, this is Mike of Near Left Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. Right, empty VAB. I'm making something new. Contract, land, build a new surface outpost on the moon, land your outpost near the mun. Build a new outpost that has an antenna, a docking port, and can generate power. Have facilities supporting at least 5 Kerbals. Have a research lab at the outpost. So, we're going to start with one of them. And then one of them. Now the plan is for this to lie flat, so let's sort that out. I have to decide which way is going to be flat. Yeah, probably. You'd want the windows to be on the sides, I think, so you can see out. So. Da, da, ba, da, ba, da. And put. There you go. I'll block one of the windows slightly, but never mind. By setting these along on the center, apart from anything else, I think that means that the center of mass doesn't change, which is going to be important because when I launch this thing, I think that's what's happening. That way the center of mass isn't completely wonky, and I'll be able to launch this with a normal kind of rocket. Right, docking ports. Now, the fun part is making sure the docking ports are on the right way. That is the... this is the correct entrance, I think. Which means I have to flip this over to get that one. If I did it this way, so that blank smooth kind of bit means that that's wrong. I think also you can tell because, if I flip back, you can see that there's the way it kind of bevels in. Let's see if I can. Kind of bevels in like that. I think that indicates that that's the wrong way. Whereas I put it that way, it's much smoother. So that bevel is also the hint. The other docking ports are much clearer. It's much easier to tell which way they're meant to go. It's just the seniors that can be a bit worrying. Also, the senior, they have a door handle. There you go. So now the door handle's on the side, so you open the door like that. Right, so that's going to... I think that's going to be enough because that has facilities for 4 Kerbals. And that's got a facility for 2, so that's that pretty much done. Right, okay, so antenna and a power supply. What I think I will do my plan is to hook this up to my existing mining facility. Just going to check that, is that actually connected? Yeah. So I want to add a bit more fuel storage, electricity storage. They should line up nicely. So I'm adding in a big Z4 cave for more electricity storage. And somehow you can get from there to there, even though there's a great big thing in the way, and you can get from one end of this to the other, even with that in the way. Now, let's have a quick check. Interesting. Now, so I might want to use this to do extra science, right? But it doesn't actually tell me what the science, how much energy that science takes up. So I'm debating whether or not to give them. I mean, I'm going to give them solar panels. You know, it would be the Gigantors. But I'm finding myself wondering whether or not I want to chuck in one of these guys. And again, because I'm wanting to add this to my existing mining base. So at the moment, the mining base is reliant entirely on solar power, although it does have some yeah, right outside the hab quarters. That's exactly where you want to place that. But at the moment, yeah, right next to the window, so you're going to be sticking your face out the window to look out, and it's like slightly radioactive. Yeah, so that's clearly where I'm putting them, whether or not that makes any sense whatsoever. Yeah, so at the moment it the mining facility requires. I just realised something. I just remembered something. But it entirely relies on solar power. Solar power. I mean, I do have fuel cells in there, but given it's a mining thing, setting it up with fuel cells so it can bring up ore and transfer that into fuel, and then burn that for electricity. But that just means that you're. I mean, I don't know whether you get a profit in the amount of ore that you can then process or then bring up. So having some generation that is absolutely not tied to solar power, I think would be a good thing. Now, one more thing I want to do Oh, I need to add an antenna on this before I go any further. Doesn't need to be a particularly good antenna, so there you go. Keeping it mirrored for no good reason, but I mean antennas don't cost that much. 300, yeah, so I'm wasting 300 Kerbal wax. I should care, I don't. Let's see, what else have I forgotten? I have forgotten the fact that, in fact, one side of this or the other, in fact, is going to have to use a claw. So let's make it this side, for no good reason. Because I didn't put any docking ports on my original mining station. I had the sneaking feeling I didn't have docking ports to join at the time. So now I do. So the idea is this will attach, and then I can chuck other things on the back of it. Now, there is the question of how to actually get it there. As you can see at the moment, it's got no means of propulsion. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a standard docking port. And because yeah, I'm going to go to radial symmetry. So it's going to have a docking port on the bottom, which is not doing anything other than balancing out the spacecraft. Did I want to do it that way? Yeah, I think I did. And the idea is that I'm going to make a sky crane built off this that will then attach, and then so that'll lower it down. Do some shenanigans. Basically, I've made a note. I think I'm going to have to make a note again. I'm going to have to essentially I'm going to launch this with a KOS module attached, and find out when this is on the platform, when this is just sat like on the launch pad or on the runway, wherever I put it. How far is this off the ground? You know, how far specifically when the legs are extended. And this is, so imagine this kind of on its feet. Where is this going to be off the ground? So when I attach my sky crane, which is actually going to be to this port and not the other one, which I thought was where I thought it was going to be, to be honest. When I attach my sky crane and it's hovering, it's going to have a KOS unit, and it's going to hover, and it's going to maintain the height. So I can then retract these, and it'll be hovering, but it'll be hovering at the right height. So when it goes in and attaches to the existing mining station, it will then be able to extend the legs, and everything will be where I want it to be. Because I don't want to be ripping the other. I don't want to extend the legs and suddenly go, "Whoa!" And just do crazy things like that. Might be a tad difficult. Should be entertaining. Part of the reason I want to do it via sky crane is that I don't want to have to put things on here that aren't going to be needed once it's a permanent part of the base. Yeah, and then I'll be able to extend the base off this way using the same method. Having that connected to connect to. And I put that on a big long kind of thing there, just so it'll be able to get into, well, it's going to get into the area that I had before, where I broke one of the Gigantor panels off it. So that's now got a space for that to go. So the only question that remains really is how I'm going to attach the sky crane to be launched. Because I want this whole thing to be relatively I want this to be, attachable to a rocket. I could make the two sky cranes and balance them like that. I could make the sky crane a completely separate launch. What I don't want to do, what I could do is make the sky crane use docking. Well, I could eat that. Well, that's my thing. I could take that away and just use a standard docking port. Wait. I really hate it when you can hit any old thing. There we go. And really, the only downside to that is aesthetics, because I'm not. I mean, the Clampertron Senior. I think it's just got a stronger grip, and also it's wider, so yeah, it tends to be more stable. But in actuality, functionally, I don't need it. I don't need a senior down there. That would give me the option to build my sky crane in here, right? I think that is, in fact, that is what I'm going to do. It's going to make life easy. I mean, the other option was to put, this on the surface here, which, well, obviously it doesn't want to do that, and it looks stupid. Look at that, it's daft. I mean, basically, it's aesthetics. It looks, the senior looks a lot better like that. But that means I can now build my sky crane and attach it there, and then have the decoupler, and then the fairing, and then the rest of the rocket. And then when I'm actually in orbit of the moon, and I'm starting to think about, when I detach from so the sky crane is going to do the whole landing thing. It's going to do all the landing, including deorbit. So I can attach it there. When I detach from the transfer stage that gets me from Kerbal orbit to lunar orbit, it'll undock, move over here, redock, and then bring everything down. that's my thinking. So I'm gonna leave the episode here, and I'm going to try and remember that this is in fact where the sky crane is going to be attaching, because the legs, I always think the legs just extend downwards, but they don't. They actually flip. I have to keep remembering that. Well, in fact, maybe I should just keep it extended until I'm ready to launch it. There you go. So the sky crane is going to be the one that has the KOS module on it, which is going to, so all the intelligence and stuff is going to go on that and not on here. That is ugly. I don't like it. Right, I mean, I don't think it's probably not a very sensible reason to change things. Like, ugly, don't like it. But there you go. Just putting a bin lid basically on there. You need to do some. I mean, there are bits of aesthetics you kind of do need to, or don't need. I don't know about need, but I like it better like that. It's not going to make any actual difference to the craft, but there you go. So anyway, I'm leaving it there. Thanks very much for watching. Come on, you don't, just made my life more difficult. Hang on, what? There we go. There we go. I did not achieve what I wanted to. I literally just want to turn that round. Just so the door handle's to one side. I can do that this way. No, this way. Anyway, as I do very important things that are vitally important and crucial to the success of the mission, like make sure there's a door handle pointing the right way, I'm going to say thanks so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you've been enjoying these videos. You can find Near Left Dice at nearleftdice.com, and we're also on Facebook and Twitter. And until next time, reach for the stars.